Conquering Star Award for the volunteer who has made a big contribution while at the same time overcoming obstacles such as disability, health, poverty, exclusion, and for whom volunteering has had a major impact on their own personal development.
Yeah, my name's Dave Gould. I'm a facilitator for MENCAP Employment Services.
I'm Joy Walsh. I'm volunteer coordinator for Headway Derby.
When I first met Nicola, she was very, very anxious. She had done placements before which hadn't worked out, basically because of her anxiety. She'd get very nervous and just walk away from that. Headway was somewhere where Nicola had identified where she would like to volunteer, so therefore really felt that she could achieve something there. And throughout the process, Nicola was very anxious. She was very anxious when she came to the interview, and on her first day, she commented to me that she was considering not coming, because she was so nervous. Once she started, there was a big change in Nicola, and you basically saw her grow quite a lot, and she just fitted into the role.
And as soon as I met Nicola, I took to her straight away. She was a very likeable girl and very smiley, and she'd actually got a friend whose mum had got a brain injury, so she got an understanding from the word go, really.
She's very talkative. Her personality really shines now. Looking for work, she's a lot more confident. She kind of tells me what she wants to do rather than me telling her what I think she should be looking for. So for me, the biggest achievement is her conquering her anxiety, really. Yeah.
When Nicola first came along and we met, as I said, I really liked her. She was very open, and we went downstairs and met some of the members. And from that first day, she hadn't even started with us, but the members liked her. They were responding to her, weren't they, Dave?
I remember her sitting down with a few people without being asked.
That's right. Yeah, she just sat and
straight into
she
it,
did.
So,
she just got straight on with it, and so people could relate to her. Yeah. And she's a very open person, and I recognise how she's grown. We'd like to thank Nicola very much for everything that she's contributed to Headway and what she continues to contribute to Headway. She's made such a difference to the members, and she does it with a smile, and she's a pleasure to have around.
Superior Star Award for the volunteer who has made an outstanding impact with the project organisation they've been volunteering with.
My name's Kat. I'm the volunteer coordinator at Childline East Midlands. We're based in Nottingham, and we run a 24-hour helpline for children and young people who need to talk. And that's staffed, it's run almost entirely by volunteers who give up their time to listen to children and young people. Jim is a really special volunteer at Childline Nottingham. He lives in Derby, but he travels to Nottingham each week to give his shift because he's so committed to being there to listen to children and young people. Childline really appreciates his reliability, because we need reliable volunteers to ensure that there is somebody there when a young person picks up the phone and calls Childline. So yeah, Jim travels over every week. He sometimes does more than expected. He sometimes does 2 shifts a week. He does the shifts that start late at night, so he often leaves the base very late at night, and I don't know what time he gets home to Derby, but I'm sure he's very tired when he does. But I think what's special about Jim is he's always prepared to give a little bit extra. So he's also been really willing to help me with recruitment events, such as at volunteer fairs, with open evenings. I know he talks to his friends and family about what he does and tells them how much he enjoys volunteering and encourages them to get involved too. So he's very special, very committed, very reliable, and a real asset to the service. I'm really glad that Jim's been chosen to receive an award because it's great that he's being recognised for the contribution that he's made. and for the effect that he's had on many, many children's lives by being there and being available to listen when they've plucked up the courage to call Childline. So I want to say a really big thank you to Jim, and a very well-deserved win today.
Constellation Award for teams of volunteers that have worked together to deliver an outstanding project or have made a major impact through their work.
I'm Dawn and I work for Victim Support. We're a national charity supporting victims and witnesses of crime. We have a team in the courts that supports people when cases go to trials, and they do things like pre-court visits and they look at special measures, but the side that we're involved with is the visiting side, and our volunteers do a lot of support to victims in their own home and here with emotional support.
So I'm Rachel, I'm from Victim Support. I'm also part of the management team here. We nominated our volunteers for this award because we feel they're just a little bit outstanding. They offer emotional support to victims of crime across Derbyshire, and kind of usually do this of an evening or of a weekend, often when they've been at work or at university all day. They tend to kind of offer the support and then go back to their everyday kind of lives. Often the work that they do for victim support is very emotional, quite challenging at times, and we just feel that somebody to do this in a voluntary capacity really has to have something a little bit special about them, and each and every one of our volunteers has part of that specialness.
I'm Debbie, I'm Service Delivery Manager along with Rachel and Dawn. On behalf of all of us, we'd just like to say a huge thank you for all the hard work and dedication that our team have put in for us over the last few years. We hope it continues for definitely the foreseeable future. We feel immensely proud of everything that people have achieved for us, and we also know that you make a huge difference to many people's lives on a day-to-day basis. So on behalf of us again, we'd like to say a huge thank you.
Shining Star Award for the volunteer who has contributed outstanding long and devoted service to an organisation for over 5 years.
I'm Martin Cooper from Server Engage Project here in Derby. I work on a project that provides courses for families who are disadvantaged, which allows them to spend quality time together to build on their relationships, and hopefully that we can provide them with some form of education that gets them back into school or signposted into employment. I nominated Colleen for the fact that it's hard work trying to find a volunteer that's been around consistently for the last 5 years, and Colleen's one of them volunteers that has been around. She came to us on training back in 2008, where she said that she didn't feel comfortable and was a little bit nervous about volunteering, where I asked her to bear with me, and 5 years later on she's still with us. She's worked on 4 projects with SOVA here in Derby. The first one was an appropriate adult working in custody at the police station in the absence of parents when young people are arrested and cautioned for interview, and she gave up the majority of her Friday and Saturday nights to cover them shifts, which as staff are very grateful for because they're the out of hours that we would normally be covering. She worked with Derby City Youth Offending and managed to work with quite a few young people successfully, mentoring them and helping to steer them on the right tracks through troubled periods of time in their lives. We started the Engage project in 2008 to 2011, where we were successful working with over 400 families delivering courses to engage youngsters and their parents in activities to help them build on their relationships, where Colleen played an active part. We were successfully refunded in 2012 to resurrect the Engage project, and Colleen has played a very successful active part in delivering this project. She is currently delivering hair and beauty and supports fishing on a Saturday morning. I, for one, would like to say thank you to Colleen and the rest of the staff at SOVA for offering over 1,000 hours of volunteering in the last year.
Rising Star Award for the 16 to 25-year-old volunteer who has made an outstanding contribution to volunteering in terms of time, commitment and personal development.
Danny, as well as doing his demanding degree, has still been giving time to Childline regularly each week to come in for his shift. He's very dependable, he's very committed, and he's really enthusiastic. And what stands out about Danny, and the reason why we nominate him for an award, is he gives so much extra to Childline. He's always involved, he's been involved in fundraising for Childline. He gets involved in all the other roles that are available at Childline too, so he's taken on extra responsibility as well as his counselling role. He's trained to be a volunteer shift support, so that means that he gives support to other volunteers on shift and helps the supervisors, which is a big responsibility, an extra role, and one that he's done really well. And he's also trained to be a volunteer and a mentor to help other volunteers develop their skills, and that's something that he really enjoys doing, passing on his knowledge and encouraging other people. It's a real strength of his, and something that's a real benefit to Childline because it helps us to develop our volunteers. I'd personally like to say a big thank you to Danny for all the support that he's given to me as a volunteer coordinator, and I know that the supervisors really value his support on the shifts and all the extra things that he's given to Childline. He's committed, he's enthusiastic, he's reliable. I don't know how he finds the time to fit it all in with his studies as well, but he's an absolute star and an asset to the service, and we're really proud to have him as a volunteer and to nominate him for this award.
Inspiring Star Award for the organisation that has excelled in volunteer management best practice, has created a range of interesting volunteering opportunities and provided positive experiences for volunteers.
My name is Liz Gumley. I'm the Income Development Coordinator at Community Action. My role is to support voluntary organisations with their funding requirements. This is looking for suitable funders, but also giving advice and guidance on filling out funding application forms. I also support learners to work towards Level 3 volunteer management qualification, and this is where I've been supporting Rachel for the last 9 months to study for the qualification. So Rachel has worked very hard over the last 18 months to develop all the policies and procedures for Impact Derby, company policies which included equal ops, health and safety, diversity, equality and diversity, but also all the volunteer policies. She's also, as part of Impact Derby, they take on a lot of volunteers, so it was really important for her to start developing the volunteer management processes. So that included recruiting, selecting, interviewing volunteers, but also supporting them through their process, their time while at Impact Derby. Rachel has also started to introduce volunteer team meetings for the mentors. These are really good meetings as it's starting to get the volunteers involved in actually planning and implementing projects. They've been working hard with schools, and the first pilot project that they have recently been successful in finishing was at St Benedict's, where mentors were going out and supporting mentees within the school. May I just take this opportunity to congratulate Rachel on recently achieving the Level 3 qualification, but also a real good well done for winning the Inspiring Star Award for Impact Derby.
Luminous Leadership Award for the volunteer who has gone the extra mile in their governance role. This award recognises leadership, innovation and dedication in their trustee role.
I'm Sophie Jardine, Fundraising Manager for the British Heart Foundation in Derbyshire and Leicestershire. I've nominated Michael Flood for an award today in recognition for all his hard work, volunteering and fundraising for Take Heart Derby, the local heart support group. It's affiliated to the British Heart Foundation. Not only does he work many, many hours for Take Heart, but he also volunteers and raises awareness of the British Heart Foundation too. Well, as chairman of over 100 Take Heart Derby members, he literally spends every waking hour planning events, planning activities. It's a social support group, so it's bringing together people that have been affected by heart disease, either themselves or they are the carers of a heart patient, or maybe they've lost somebody to heart disease. So everything he does has the heart patients and their families and carers at the heart of what he does. There's social events, there's activities, there's walks, swimming, and also raising funds to enable the group to keep going. So, as his wife Tricia will agree, it's every waking hour and probably too much time, but we're eternally grateful for everything that he does.
Student Star Award for the student, primary, college or university who has made a significant and meaningful contribution to the community by volunteering while developing their employability skills.
I'm Elena, I'm the Befriending Service Coordinator at Children First Derby. Children First is a local charity to Derby, and the Befriending Service, which is called the Family Service now, supports families who live under stress and in crisis, and a volunteer will support that family in the best possible way that the charity can. Okay. I nominated Alana for this lovely award for the Shining Star Student Award because of her knowledge with psychology that she was studying at Derby University, and the fact that she wanted to help and support a family that were needy. And the family that I gave Lana had just gone through a tragic bereavement, and I thought she could put those wonderful skills and experience she'd gained to help and support this family in need. Ilana is a lovely, lovely young woman. She's very chatty, and if anybody's going to bring out the best of somebody, it would be Ilana. Everything is taken at Ilana's stride. She's not going to be pushy with anybody, and I just think she was the right person to support this family. On behalf of Children First and myself, I would like to thank Alana for all the wonderful work that she did with this family to get them through a very, very tragic time in their life, and empower them to make some wonderful decisions so that they are now in a lovely position that they've moved home, you know, mum is in employment, and we've kept the children in education, and I think that is a wonderful gift for anybody to give to a family, and Alana has done that. Amazing.